it in the air, deep center field. He leaps, gone.
Caught by Escobar, and the Royals turn it.
Hosmer deep to right field, gone.
3 pitches, and down goes Pujols. To left field and sinking on Alex, who makes a great play. Mitch Meyer, and gone. Long run for Kane. He's got it with an amazing catch. Alex jolts it. It is gone. Billy into the left field corner. Royals baseball comes to you from beautiful Kauffman Stadium. Finally, as opening week presented by Burger King continues. And after talking about this young team all fall and winter, today the fans will see the Royals in person against the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals are home for the first time this year after a 3-3 road trip. And we got to see at the end of the road trip in Anaheim and into Oakland the impact that Eric Hosmer and Billy Butler can have in the middle of the order.
Tell you, the pitching staff is going to love the run support that these two guys and many more, I'm sure, are going to put up. In Anaheim, it was a beautiful thing to watch the first baseman Hosmer do his thing on identical spots and landed in identical places. This is where the pitching staff wants to go. Run support by your offense. Billy Butler. This guy goes line to line, but he hit a big fly in center field to get him going in the Angels. And now, when they went to Oakland, he went big fly again. Billy Butler is going to be a big reason that the Royals offense is as good as it is for that starting pitching staff. And speaking of starting pitching, look at him.
And what a highlight that was. First time through the rotation, and then Bruce Chen a second time. And the Royals have the best earned run average among starters in the American League and the second best in the majors. It's Luke Hochevar for the second time this year. Here's the Kia report.
Couldn't be happier with that scouting report on the starting pitching. They've been great. Now, Hochevar's got to command and control the inside part of the plate to be successful this afternoon. Go ahead and slow those secondary pitches down. Don't be hard. Slow them down, break it ball, and avoid the long inning if possible. Hochevar looked good in his first start. Hopefully, he'll do it his second.
Fans enjoyed watching Alex Gordon's breakout year last year at the plate and in the field. And when we come back, we'll see Alex get his gold glove. Lottery. When you play, students win. There was no doubt last year Alex Gordon was the Royals' best all-around player. He was the Royals' Player of the Year. And because of his work in the outfield, he won a Gold Glove. And as we speak, Alex is coming out of the dugout to receive his 2011 Gold Glove. Here's a little snapshot of what Alex did in left field last year.
Man, I'm going to tell you, what he does on that side of the ball is a beautiful thing. To see him getting grass stains, getting dirty, and look at those throws. Man, they are on the money. Look at how he follows his throw, stays straight over the top. He's special, and what a great moment it is for him and his entire family.
Joining Jermaine Dye, Willie Wilson, Al Cowens, Amos Otis 3 times as a Royals Gold Glove winner in the outfield. And remember, that was his first full season in the big leagues as an outfielder. Out the first pitch to John Wathen, the former Royals player and manager. And what a beautiful sight Kauffman Stadium is today. Baseball back in Kansas City, and to set the tone, we have a sea of blue in the ballpark under a powder blue sky. Kauffman Stadium never looked better.
And Ryan, being a former player, coming here many, many times over the years, that's one thing. And being here yesterday in their workout when it was gray skies and a downpour came down, this ballpark didn't look like this. But today, it's all of a sudden, it is blinging. There's colors everywhere. They stand out. The sun came out. I can't think of a better way. And when they were doing the anthem, they gave a moment of silence for those who gave their lives. I could hear my heart pumping through my chest as many of the fans here are anticipating what could be a championship season. That's exciting.
Hoping to start the season the way the Indians did last year. And we'll take a look at the Indians lineup tonight against right-hander Luke Hochevar. And Hochevar is going up against an offense that has the lowest batting average in the major leagues. In their first 5 games, the Cleveland Indians are hitting 176, and Shin-Soo Choo, who just wears out the Royals year after year, he's off to an exceptionally slow start, batting just 167. So Luke Hochevar makes his second start. He pitched in Game 2 in Anaheim, pitched brilliantly against the Angels, gave up a couple of runs in 6 1/3 innings. Both of those runs came after he left the game, runners that he had left on base, and he seemed to get stronger as the game went along. Here are his career numbers against the Indians. 4-7 with a 5.21 ERA. He was 1-2 against the Indians last year. And here's the defense behind Hochevar today, presented by Ford.
That's right. And this is a big part of the Royals pitching staff, is their defense. Pitching and defense go hand in hand, but Gerard Dyson in center field, his first experience in opening day is going to be great. Humberto Quintero, he's going to be the signal caller back there putting down the fingers. Hopefully he puts the right ones down. They got good corners at Hosmer and Moustakas. This is a defense that's set to go, but I'll tell you, that man right there, Gerard Dyson, he's got butterflies in his belly and his heart is thumping more than mine. But it's a great time. Look at him. He's checking the conditions out there, the wind, the sun. All of the elements will play in today's game, especially with a slight breeze blowing from right field to left field.
There's Manny Acta, and his Cleveland Indians in the middle of May last year had the best record in baseball. They were 30-15. They had a 7-game lead in the Central, but tailed off in the second half. They finished in second place in the division, but they were 15 games back of division leading Detroit. So this is his 3rd year as manager of the Indians. They've had some significant injuries to deal with, including Grady Sizemore. The Indians were hopeful that he would come back 100% this year, but he had back surgery in spring training.
Well, unfortunately, those are the things that managers have to deal with, and that's part of the game, is injuries. Fortunately for the Royals, they've only had one so far go on the DL, and that's Lorenzo Cain, but it's not real bad, and hopefully he'll get back soon.
Michael Brantley just 1 out of 17 to begin the year, and 0 for his last 15. We were talking about Sizemore starting on the disabled list, and the Indians announced earlier today that they have signed former Royal Johnny Damon to a 1-year contract. Johnny wasn't with anybody in spring training, so he'll begin in the minor leagues, but eventually will end up with Cleveland. Hochevar's first pitch is in for a strike to Michael Brantley.
And most pitchers will tell you that's their best pitch. Strike one, work ahead. We talked about his keys for success against Cleveland. That's keeping these guys off balance, keeping them hard and tight on the middle, and then inside, knocking them off the plate. He's got some nice pitches to go with. He's got a good 2-seam and 4-seam fastball. He'll reach the mid-90s. Slider, change up, and a nasty curve.
2 balls and 1 strike. Nice warm day after a lot of rain yesterday and overnight, and the warmth is coming out of the south, so we have a very strong wind that's blowing right to left. As Brantley strokes it into right center field, the Royals are playing in the other way. Dyson with his speed gets to it, and that'll hold Brantley to a single. So there are the flags blowing toward the left field corner. 70 degrees on opening day. We started at 3:13 Central Daylight Time, and the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot. We have airport parking covered. The parking spot at KCI. So Brantley puts an end to an 0 for 15 with that base hit, and now as Drupal Cabrera, who had a huge season for the Indians last year, hitting 25 home runs.
Yeah, that's a lot for a shortstop, but you know what? He's just coming into his own. He's starting to find out which pitches he can handle and which ones he can't. But in this situation here, he'd like to be able to send Brantley all the way to third base on a single, pull one through the right side.
Hochevar going with a slide step, but time had been called. When you said send Brantley first to third, I was thinking to myself, you know, when a team is really struggling on offense, don't be surprised if Manny Acta doesn't incorporate a hit and run or a straight steal just to take some of the pressure off the hitters.
No question, when your team's struggling like that, hitting below 200 to start the season, you're going to do the little things to try to spark your ball club. Even a bunt, a sacrifice bunt. Play the basics. Brantley's leaning.
And Hochevar again with a slide step. And Cabrera pulls it foul.
So ideally, you like to have your second place hitter be a left-handed bat to take advantage of the first baseman holding on the runner. That opens up the side over there. It opens up a little more ground to hit it in. When I talk about the basics, that's exactly what they want to do. Is just stay steady, try to advance one base at a time if they can.
Slide step and another foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Hochevar's making sure that Brantley doesn't get a good jump. Indians started at home against the Blue Jays and the White Sox. They went 1-4. They lost 1 game to weather. And now this is the first of a 9-game road trip for them. Lined over Hosmer and up the line. So that will get Brantley first to third. Cabrera into second base with a double, and just like that, the so-called struggling Indians have runners at second and third and nobody out.
That's that first inning for pitchers to be able to settle down, and Hochevar, he's missed over the middle and up. And that ball's elevated. A batter's eyes light up, and it's a little bit easier for him to put that ball in play. Now Hosmer, the excellent athlete he is, former basketball player, look, he couldn't get that one. Francoeur comes up with a nice strong throw. There's nobody out in second and third, and a little bit of difficulty here for Hochevar.
And here's Shin-Soo Choo, who had an injury-filled 2011. He was on the disabled list twice and then was shut down for good in the middle of September. Hochevar misses high. 1 ball and no strikes.
Starting pitchers warm up in that bullpen out there. They might have a certain amount of stuff, maybe good command, or maybe they may not have any command. But when they get out there to the real mound, it takes them the first inning to gauge their pitches to see which ones are working.
Had a pretty good swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Choo always seems to do well against the Royals, and Luke Hochevar knows all about that.
Well, Luke's going to want to keep it down anyway. So if he does make contact, he hits it at somebody and they get an out. Looking for an out. If you're the Cleveland Indians, you want to take advantage of this. So far, Hochevar's missing up in the zone.
And he's only human. You can imagine if he's pumped up right now. He knows how excited the fans are. The fans have filled Kauffman Stadium. So the heart might be beating a little faster than normal in this first inning. And Choo lays off a borderline pitch, and the count goes to 3-1.
Well, there's no question that Luke's battling some pre-game jitters in this first inning here, just executing a few pitches here, but he's going to have to bear down and try to focus low in the strike zone, because he's going to get hurt up there.
And Choo grounds it to the right side past Betancourt. Brantley scores, Cabrera scores, and the Indians have a 2-0 lead with nobody out.
If you're Manny Acta, you're giddy inside. You don't want to let that show. It's so early in the ball game. But this ball was hit hard, and it found some eyes. It had some eyes on it right under Betancourt's stretched out glove. So now if you're Hochevar, you can say, all right, take a couple deep breaths. Let's start over again. Get back to basics. Let's get an out. I'm going to try to induce a ground ball double play here.
And he'll try and do so against Carlos Santana. Hochevar is high again. 1 ball and no strikes. Santana hitting just .211 on the Indians opening homestand, but he did hit 2 home runs, and he has driven in 4. Just 3 days ago, the Indians locked him up with a 5-year contract extension. 2 balls and no strikes.
Humberto Quintero is getting the call by Ned Yost behind the plate. Maybe he'll go to some secondary pitches. Maybe put the fastball on the shelf for now and see if he can get command of them other off-speed pitches, which are very good.
There's a good pitch over the inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Shin-Soo Choo, 2 years in a row, had 20 or more stolen bases. Fell short of that last year, but he can run. Sorry, Rex.
No, he can run. But I was just saying that there's Hochevar's move. He's got to be able to at least throw over there and let them know that, hey, look, I know you're there. One throw over is good.
Started and stopped, and now it's 3-1.
This kid has amazing pop. You know, he's young, very young in the league. Still in his official first year in the big leagues. This kid, he has some power.
Thought it was ball 4, and instead it's a full count. He had 27 home runs last year. Batting average was down. He hit below 240, but he had the power. Also, with that big swing, he pays the price for that and will pile up the strikeouts.
Typically, the off-speed pitches bring the ground ball. See if Acta moves the runner.
He does. Santana swings and misses, but Shin-Soo Choo is into second base with a stolen base.
And it was an excellent jump by Choo. I could see him leaning a little bit. He was a little anxious to go. Very good all-around player. He got a great jump. That's how he got the bag. Quintero, excellent catch and throw guy. You could see the jump. He was leaning, took one peek back to see if he was going to swing, and he beat that. You steal off the pitcher, not the catcher.
The poor catcher, however, is the one who gets hung with the statistic.
That's right. Game's not always fair.
So now Quintero will go out and talk to Hochevar about Travis Hafner. Here's another look.
Okay, he struck him out with a high fastball, and Quintero did all he could do.
It's the first time that the Angels, the A's, and now the Indians have attempted a stolen base on Quintero. So Travis Hafner with a runner at second and 1 out. And a cut fastball is in for strike 1.
Okay, the defense for Hafner, who's a big, strong pull hitter. And when you do that, lots of guys like to put their men right out there in that no man's land out there. Shallow right field so he can cover more ground. Get to some of those balls to his left and to his right.
Pitch stayed away, and Hochevar now ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Okay, now he's starting to settle in. There's been a little action. They stole a base. He struck out a batter. He's getting some confidence going here. And he's not worried about them getting the first 2 runs of the game. He's got a solid offense behind him. A long way to go in this one.
On the ground to Hosmer. He'll take it himself. So 2 down with Choo moving up to third base. Luke Hochevar allowing the 2 runs on Saturday at the Angels, and they scored in the 7th inning after he left the game. Early on, Luke took very good advantage of his defense, making nice plays behind him, and then Luke hit his stride. And at one point retired 7 in a row with 4 strikeouts. He appeared to get stronger as the game went. The runner at third, 2 down to left fielder Shelly Duncan. And he's after the first pitch and pulls it foul.
Okay, Duncan has a long swing. Hochevar, if he can get out of this with a strikeout, that'll build more confidence. But also, the fact that Hochevar ran over to first base to get that out, Hosmer fed him a nice ball, that kind of helped him get that breathing going. He got off the mound, and so now the blood's flowing, so now he's able to settle in. Get those butterflies gone.
Duncan with a check swing dunker. So Choo comes down from third, and the Indians have a 3-0 lead in the first inning.
Oh, if you're a hitter and you get a hit like that, you're saying, all right, my fortunes have changed. He'll take that. It's an excuse me single. Didn't mean to do it. he barreled that up. If he would have taken a full hack at that, he might have hit a homer down the right field line. Couldn't have hit any more squarely on his bat.
That's Duncan's third RBI. He had 345 against the Royals last year. Now new Indians first baseman Casey Kochman. And Hochevar pitches him inside on the corner for strike one. Casey Kochman for a few years was the Angels' #1 prospect and never quite panned out the way they were hoping for, and this is his 6th team in the last 9 years. And he's down, no balls and 2 strikes, but boy can he play first base.
Got good glove, and you know, with his bat he goes line to line. He's one of those spray type hitters, hits for an average. One of the reasons it didn't work out with the Angels early was that he didn't have the power they were looking for, and he doesn't run that well. Didn't fit their team.
Still no balls and 2 strikes.
But he's a great kid, comes from a baseball family. His dad Tom has been with the Angel organization for over 20 years in the rookie league level. He's won many championships for them. So the Angels went ahead and made him a high pick. But he's still in the big leagues, and he can swing a potent bat still.
And that stroke to right field. That was an 0-2 pitch that stayed up. So the Indians have 3 runs on 5 hits in the first inning.
Well, it's obvious that Luke is finding too much of the plate to a team that's desperate to start hitting. Sometimes it breaks out. Now that's not a bad pitch, but a good job by Kochman to pull his hands in and to pull that ball to right field. That was off the plate there, but he's been missing generally too much over the plate, and you're not going good when a guy gets a excuse me check swing RBI on a hit. So Dave Island's going to say, hey, come on, man, let's go. Our offense is anxious to score you some runs, but you got to get us in that dugout. Dave Island's done a fine job in his first year in all of spring training, working with these guys, breaking them down on film, studying what looks good and sometimes what doesn't look so good. That's a pitching coach's job, a hitting coach's job.
So 2 on for Jason Kipnis. And he's after the first pitch. Hits it to Dyson in center field. The wind pushes it, and it sails over Dyson's head and up against the wall. It will score 2 more. Kipnis is into third with a triple, and the Cleveland Indians have a 5-0 lead. And let's go back to that wind. The wind is blasting out of the south, and what looked like a pretty routine fly ball to center field. It was high enough for the wind to grab it and take it all the way to the warning track.
Well, you know, this is another ball in the middle of the plate, and he stayed inside of it nicely, and he turned Dyson around out there. Typically, a ball hit straight over your head as a center fielder is a difficult play anyway, but when that wind started taking him over, tells me he turned the wrong way. When you know that there's a strong wind going from one side of the field to the other, that's the side you turn to when the ball's hit.
So 9 come to the plate for the Indians, and now Hanahan smashes it into center field. That is the Indians' 6th run. Now, they've had their share of good swings, don't get me wrong, but a little bit of misfortune mixed in there with the wind-blown triple. And then, you know, Hud, let's go back to Duncan's check swing base hit to right. Hochevar had retired the 2 hitters prior to that. Looked like he was getting on a roll, and now the Indians have had 4 straight hits.
Sometimes that first inning can be exactly like you're seeing it. Not pretty. And you got to credit the hitters who are hungry.
There's the breaking ball for a strike. So Brantley, who started all this with a single, putting an end to an 0 for 15, and then he came around to score on Shin-Soo Choo's 2-run single. And that skips past Quintero and goes to the screen.
This is not the first inning that Luke Hochevar and the sellout crowd was hoping for.
It's a 33 pitch inning, and now Everett Tiefert is warming up behind Hochevar. And Brantley rips it into the right field corner and off the top of the padding. He just missed a home run. He's going to try for 2, and he's in with a double. Wow. Not what the folks had in mind when they walked through the turnstiles today.
Not at all. Another pitch that drifts back over the plate again. So he's not pitching these guys inside. I mean, he needs to loosen up a couple of their hitters here. They're too comfortable. And everything in baseball is contagious. And unfortunately for Luke Hochevar, it's not in his favor. He's missing. And it's not so much of what he's not doing. You've got to credit the Tribe for coming out, got their hitting shoes on. They're tired of getting buried back home. In fact, they can't hit.
Popped up. Fans are cheering. It won't be routine with the win, but Escobar finds it and makes the catch. 11 come to the plate, and the Indians hang 7 on the scoreboard. The Royals are down 7-0, and coming up in the bottom of the first inning gives us a chance to welcome in the third member of our crew, Joe Goldberg.
Brian, thanks. A little bit surprised yesterday to find out that the Royals were making a move, and Lorenzo Cain, who they thought might be able to make it back today after that groin injury, was going on the disabled list. So Gerard Dyson, as you've said, is up. Not quite the way that Lorenzo wanted to spend his 26th birthday today. And in the lineup with a big shakeup, Cain out, Dyson in, and we see a very new look today, Ryan.
Boy, you're not kidding. And the Dyson part of it is not a huge surprise, because the Royals would love to see him with his speed develop into a major league leadoff man. But from there, Jeff Francoeur batting second, Alex Gordon moving back down in the batting order as Dyson rolls it through the right side. So that'll give the fans something to cheer about.
Yeah, no, a totally different look at this lineup that Royals fans have become used to for the first 6 games. But that's nice. Go ahead, little by little, start pecking away. You're not going to looking for a big 3-run, 4-run homer, grand slam, whatever. Just go ahead one at a time, steady as she goes. Now, Derek Lowe, in his 15th year, he's a veteran pitcher, but he's not overpowering. This guy, he's a sinker baller. Okay, he's got a little cutter, a little curveball in the change. He's not overpowering. If his ball's up, he can be hit. So if you're a hitter, you want to make this guy bring him up. Don't go up there just flailing at his first pitch. I love that first AB by Dyson. Took the first 2 and hit the third. More pitches you can see, the better off you are. Get him in trouble.
1-1 on Jeff Francoeur. Now, if this scenario comes up quite a bit, and the Royals are hopeful that it will, Jeff Francoeur or whoever is going to get a lot of fastballs. You have Dyson at first base, and you have Hosmer on deck.
And that's the whole idea. That's why Ned has put him in that second spot. And he is one of their hottest hitters. So you want to get a guy in that second spot to get a lot of fastballs. However, Derek Lowe's not going to just go up there and throw him cookies. He's got a good sinker. He's going to try to get that working.
Ground ball, base hit left field. So Lowe is getting ground balls. Royals are finding holes. That ball was hit hard, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
Okay, now this scenario here might have some Royals fans upset, down 7 runs. But really what could happen here is they could see an offense come back and catch these guys in this game and make this a whale of a ball game. And really the potential's there. The Royals have those kind of hitters and that kind of offense.
And as strange as it sounds, it takes a little pressure off the hitters because they're down so much. Just go up there and try and hit the ball hard.
You're 100% correct.
Blocked by Santana. So ball 1 to Hosmer.
So the same butterflies Lowe's dealing with that Luke Hochevar. Okay, even though you got 15 years, as your 15th year in the big leagues, that first inning is always the feel inning. So the Royals look like they're doing the right thing on him.
Hosmer looks at a strike, 1-1.
And that's about the speed, the top speed you'll see from Derek Lowe. He might hit 90, but possibly not. For a sinker baller, less is more. And that ball goes away from the lefty.
It's going to be a tough day for the Royals going after that pitch. Hosmer convinced he had a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The offense is going to have to wait. Derek Lowe pulled out his changeup there. That's a nice pitch there. He knows that Hosmer wants to drive in the runs. Hosmer has very good plate discipline.
And that's hit well into right field. And just like that, the Royals are on the scoreboard. So Hosmer down to the count. Gets it through the right side to get Dyson to the plate.
Steady as she goes. Sinker ball down, stay down, but find those holes. And so far, we talked about how the hitting's contagious on their side. It's contagious here. Eddie Rodriguez says, get on your horse. And really, right fielder, Sin Chu Chu, he knew he didn't have a shot at home.
In for a strike to Billy Butler. Billy 2 home runs, 5 RBIs during the road trip. 1 home run in Anaheim, 1 in Oakland. The Royals saw Derek Lowe 2 years ago in interleague play when he was pitching for the Braves. Lowe won that game, and now he's going to get a ground ball and a double play, so 2 outs, and Francoeur moves up to third base.
He hit it hard right on the screws. It almost hopped up on the second baseman, Kipnis.
Derek Lowe is now 38 years old, so 10 years older than Luke Hochevar, and he's had quite a career. Made his big league debut 15 years ago in 1997 with the Seattle Mariners. And now Alex Gordon back down to the middle of the order, batting 5th. Broke out of his slump big time on Wednesday afternoon in Oakland, getting his first hit and his first home run.
So instead of leading off, he wants him down in the 5th spot because he's a run producer. He can knock in some runs. Over the course of the season, you're going to see Ned Yost change his lineup periodically. He'd like for them all to get an idea of where they're hitting, but this early in the season, he's got to find a lineup that works for the team.
Ned, on opening day last year, it was a bit of a surprise. He batted Alex 3rd when everyone expected that Alex might bat 6th or 7th. Francoeur gave it a look, but it's not far enough away from Santana to score. Alex was coming off a rough 2010, so everybody figured the Royals would just kind of ease him back into it, but Ned put him right in there at the number 3 position, and it wasn't long after that that he moved to leadoff and ended up hitting over 300 with 23 home runs.
Okay, Gordon like to get something out over and just find a hole and don't leave Francoeur at third base here. They're going to need to get every run they can home. The team overall coming in is a 205 team. The Royals are with hitting with runners in scoring position. That'll get better, and it must get better as they go along.
Rex, let's take a quick look at the Indians defensively this afternoon, presented by Ford.
Okay, they've got some speed out there in their outfield. Chu, the right fielder, has got a really good arm. It wasn't tested at all, but 9 assists last year will tell you that for sure. Now, Kipnis, he's a good second baseman, and now Gordon took one looking.
So the Royals get 1 run, 3 hits. The double play was huge. 7-1 Cleveland at the end of 1. And today's game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. And 7 innings, and we're still early in the season, but 7 innings in the first is the most runs scored by any team this year. Seven runs, that is, in the top of the first inning. Indians sending 11 to the plate, coming up with 7 runs on 8 hits. The play that really seemed to turn the inning around, after the Indians scored 2 runs with 3 straight hits, Luke Hochevar got a strikeout of Carlos Santana and a ground ball from Travis Hafner, and then jammed, really tied up Shelley Duncan with a pitch up and in. And Duncan, with a check swing, floated a bloop out into right field for an RBI single. And then after that, the Indians added on 5 more hits.
Things aren't going good for you in that first inning when your opponents are getting hits like this. If you're a hitter, you love it. But Hochevar doesn't have a very long leash now. He has got to be able to get these guys, keep them off the board. 1, 2, 3 to stay in this game. I don't know if Ned's going to let him keep going. Can't afford to give any more runs to this team. So
it'll be Chu, Santana, and Hafner in the inning. And that's ball 4. So Chu comes back after falling behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's Hochevar's first walk.
Well, there's a little bit of concern right there as you're looking around, and there's some heartbeats starting to pump a little bit harder out there in that bullpen. Some of those guys are saying, okay, who's going to be ready in case he calls our name?
Tiford was warming up at the end of the first inning. Hochevar struck out Carlos Santana in the first. Chu goes, grounded to Hosmer, but because the runner was going, Eric couldn't find a good angle to throw down there. So it's a productive out, getting a runner into scoring position. Santana's 0 for 2.
So Maniacta, Cleveland manager, he's not stopping, man. He's saying pedal to the metal. Let's go, boys. 7's not enough. we could tell this offense, they're good. We got to keep scoring. Just keep it going. So he had Chu stealing on the play.
Last thing they want to do is allow Hochevar to start to get comfortable on the mound and settle back in.
Right.
Hafner grounded out to first time up.
Betancourt, second baseman, is playing deep, a shallow right field, like he did the first time Hafner came up.
And Hafner got underneath it. It's up in the sun and in the wind, but Francoeur sees it. He'll bring it down for the second out, and Chu will advance to third.
Okay, we saw the conditions of the field here at the K change the play already. That ball that was hit over Dyson's head in center. It's going to play another part of this game too as the game goes along. Believe me, the sky's out and the sun's out, so the ball's going to get caught up there somewhere. But playing the elements of the game and knowing how to play them are extremely important.
So here's Duncan again with that RBI single in the first inning. That made it 3-0 Indians. And again, it was his check swing that turned the inning around. Luke made such a good pitch on him. If he check swings and it's caught, the inning's over.
Look where Dyson's playing all the way to pull there. He's up at the top. He's way over, as Duncan is a pull hitter, dead pull hitter, leaving right center field wide open.
And he does pull it well foul, and it's 0-2. Oh, we hope you'll come out tomorrow for Slugger's birthday bash. Several area mascots will be in attendance, so you don't want to miss out. There will be cupcakes, gifts, face painters, and much more. The festivities begin at 4:30 in the outfield experience. Go to Royals.com for tickets. That's a 6:10 game tomorrow with the Royals and the Indians. Swung on and missed. Duncan strikes out. Hochevar works around the leadoff walk. Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week of baseball. And it is the home opener for the Royals. 7-1 Indians to the bottom of the second inning. Indians sending 11 to the plate in the first. The Royals came back with 3 straight hits in the bottom of the first and getting a run across. And now Betancourt lines it to left field. Duncan is there. 1 away.
Okay, Lowe, he's not fooling any Royals hitters. Had Billy Butler elevated that double play ball he hit at the second baseman, they would still be hitting right now. So they're just going to have to be patient here. And that's a nice stroke there by Betancourt. Hit it right at him.
7-1 to Mike Moustakas, and they say that the game evens itself out, but sometimes it can be so unfair. Duncan has a check swing and an RBI single. Billy hits one right on the nose and grounds into a double play.
Game's hard to figure. That's why only the mentally strong survive it.
First time Mike Moustakas has seen Derek Lowe down 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Okay, for Derek Lowe to continue to be successful in this game and to stay where he is, he's got to be able to stay on top of that sinker. He also wants to control his tempo, which is quick. Sinker ballers that work quickly off the mound keep their infielders sharp. And he wants to get ahead, strike one. Those are his keys.
And Moustakas hit it hard. Tough hop. Cabrera was lined up perfectly, and then the ball bounced up on him, but he was able to stay with it, and there are 2 outs.
Stay at it. You'll find some holes. He had to reach out for that one, but he still was able to barrel it up and just hit it right at him. They call that an atom ball.
So 2 up, 2 down to Humberto Quintero. And that's on the ground. Past Hanahan, and Cabrera throws to first. That's an 8-pitch inning for Derek Lowe. We've played 2. Cleveland has a 7-1 lead.
Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg right by the Buck O'Neil seat as Royals Hall of Famer John Mayberry with the honors on opening day. What does it mean to be sitting in this special seat for you, Big John?
I tell you what, it's quite an honor. I knew Buck O'Neil, Mr. O'Neil very well, and just to sit in his seat, man, you get goosebumps almost like the first time that I stepped in Yankee Stadium.
And you spent many opening days here as well as other places around the league. What are your thoughts when you see this crowd? Obviously not a great start to the game, but a great vibe in the air.
Well, there's no question. There's a lot of energy in there. Opening day here at Decatur has always been very, very special. And I think we got a pretty good team to entertain us all summer long. And I wish them well.
I know that you pay attention to this team just like so many of the Royals Hall of Famers do, and you keep your eye on it. What do you make of this group?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like their offense. We got some pitching coming along, but, you know, I'm an offensive-minded guy, and so, you know, I pull for all the guys, hit home runs, driving a lot of runs, and I think they got about 4 or 5 guys, I think they did last year, they can drive 80, 90, 100 runs, and I think we get some all-stars out of this group.
And I would assume that there's a certain first baseman that you enjoy watching?
Well, you know, first baseman got to stick together. You know, first baseman don't pick off first basemen or nothing like that. You know, we just shoot the breeze with each other when we get hits. But yeah, Eric Hosmer is a polished first baseman. He's something like I was. He played first base all his life. I was too fat to play anywhere else, so I had to play first. But Eric seemed like he wasn't no outfielder, converted to an infielder and all what like that. He's a first baseman. He looks like he's got a lot of polish for such a young age.
See, I was going to give you some credit. I know you've gone down in the past and worked with the minor leaguers. I was going to let you say you taught him everything he knows.
Well, I didn't teach him anything. He had it all when he came out of high school, and the organization's got some guys that work with his infield work, good work. But he had a great idea when he signed.
Last thing before I let you go, we're still a ways from Father's Day, but I know that you are a proud papa, and John Mayberry Jr. getting a lot of playing time right now for the Phillies.
That's right. Junior's playing a little left field, center field, right field. When Hunter Pence is not in there playing first base, Ryan Howard's out. So he's sneaking a hit here and a hit there. I hope he can just hold it steady and then he get hot and move on and have a pretty good career.
Sounds good. We'll keep our eye on him. Look forward to seeing you at the ballpark all summer long, and congratulations on the Buck O'Neil seat.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, Joe. It's always good to see you.
Always good to see Big John, and look at that. He got Luke Hochevar a strikeout too, guys.
All right, thanks, Joel. Let's take another look at that final pitch to Kipnis.
Okay, nice to see he's hitting his spots. That's on the outer side of the plate there. Good location. And Kipnis has got to go. That's going to be confidence for Luke.
Ball 1-2, Jack Hanahan singled, drove in a run and scored in the 7-run first inning. Hochevar has retired 6 of the last 7. One and one. Into left field, right at Alex Gordon. So 2 scoreless innings now for Luke Hochevar, and he gets out of the 3rd inning with just 9 pitches. Let's take a look at our Sprint You Call It question for today. Alex Gordon receiving his 2011 Gold Glove before the game today. So we ask you, who will be the next Royal to win a Gold Glove? Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, Alcides Escobar, or Lorenzo Cain? 4 legitimate candidates. Text 432-432, enter keyword Royals followed by a space. A for Perez, B for Hosmer, C for Escobar, and D for Cain. Escobar leads off. No balls, 2 strikes against Derek Lowe.
So having Escobar down in that number 9 slot, that hasn't changed. He's pretty much been most of the games in 9th. Kind of gives him an extra leadoff hitter when this situation happens. And you know, Derek Lowe hasn't been striking everybody out. The Royals have been all over the baseball. He's hitting right at people.
And he only struck out 1 in 7 innings on Sunday against Toronto. Sounds strange to say this, 38 years old, he has an impressive resume, but Derek Lowe has something to prove this year. He led the major leagues last season with 17 losses pitching for the Braves, and then was traded to Cleveland. He has 167 wins. He also has 85 saves in his career. He is just the 8th pitcher in Major League history with at least 150 wins and at least 50 saves. And there's his first, make that second strikeout, getting Escobar looking. 1 down in the 3rd. We hope you'll come honor Jackie Robinson at the ballpark this Sunday at 1:10 for the Royals and the Indians. And the first 10,000 fans receive a Jackie Robinson t-shirt presented by Hollywood Casino. Plus, all fans can run the bases after the game, presented by Sprint. Go to Royals.com/Sunday or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Gerard Dyson in his first at-bat since being called up yesterday, singled to right and came around to score.
Okay, did his job. He's going to pressure the defense with his speed. He also is an excellent bunter. And when you're batting 1,000, you're hoping that your family took a picture of that.
Never a routine play when Dyson puts the ball on the ground, and Kipnis throws him out, 2 away.
He's only hitting 500 now.
Still pretty good. Might as well take a picture of that too, right?
That's why not.
Royals have just 1 out in the air against Derek Lowe, who has the perfect last name for a sinker ball pitcher. You got 2 ground balls and a strikeout in the first, 2 ground ball outs in the second, a ground ball out and a strikeout in the third. And Francoeur is able to lift the ball to right field. Chin finds it in the sun to make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Lowe's retired 8 in a row. In them today. And of course, when you're having a big inning, always helps to get some extra base hits. And as we look at our Toyota League leaders for today, the Royals are second only to the Texas Rangers in extra base hits with 21. So far today, the Royals with 3 singles against Derek Lowe. The Indians 7 runs, 8 hits. And even though Hochevar gave up 7 runs in the first inning to put the Royals in a big hole, he has retired 7 of the last 8 and now make it 8 of the last 9, getting Brantley on a ground ball to second base.
He settled down just like they were hoping he would, but man, he's put his offense in a pretty big hole after that 7-run first.
And if you're the Indians, you don't want to celebrate too soon, as we just learned in the hot dog race, as Ketchup, coming down the stretch, started playing to the crowd with his hands to his sides, and Mustard almost came back and got him.
Well, I'm sure that Manny Acta is going to have his guys stay under control. All right, there's the finish. We know you wanted to see it.
Oh, 0-2 on Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera doubled down in the count 1-2 in the first inning and came around to score on a 2-run single from Shin-Soo Choo. Shelley Duncan drove in a run, Jason Kipnis 2. Jack Hanahan and Michael Brantley also got runs to the plate in the first inning. Hosmer gets a nice big hop. He'll take it himself. And now Hochevar has retired 9 of the last 10.
Now you see what I'm talking about in that first inning when you're not real comfortable. You know, the other team goes ahead and they capitalize on everything, but then after that he's settled down. He's comfortable. Now he's executing his pitches. And good pitching outdoes good hitting. And believe me, coming into this game, the Cleveland Indians were not a good hitting team.
176 was their team batting average coming into the game. That was dead last in the major leagues. And now Hochevar gets Shin-Soo Choo, who drove in 2 in the first inning and then walked in the second. Fastball in for strike 1.
Okay.
1-1.
Nice spot to miss. 93 with a little bit of hair on it. That's what I like to call when it's got some movement that goes away. Good place to miss. Out there, especially a guy who's hit you before pretty hard.
Quintero wants him to stay out there. It's 1-2.
Boy, nice to see Salvador Perez get announced and the people go crazy. A nice ovation for Salvi.
Took his cap off, saluted the fans. Everyone else just kind of tipped the cap, a little more reserved.
Big smile.
Not Salvador.
Standing out there without any crutches on, a little brace on his knee.
Shallow center, didn't hit it very hard, and it drops in front of Dyson, who is playing deep. And the Indians have a runner with 2 outs. So as he was announced, big roar from the crowd. He may as well soak it in. He's earned it.
That's right, and look at that smile. He loved it. Who wouldn't?
He had a heck of a 39 games for the Royals last year, hitting over 330. Impressing the Royals and their opponents with his strong arm. And no matter what was going on, whether he was 3 for 4 or 0 for 4, had that big smile on his face.
Like a lot of his teammates. It's a fresh team.
A little bit low to Santana, who has struck out and grounded out against Hochevar. And it was his strikeout in the first inning that looked like was going to turn the inning around, and then Hochevar got half run, a ground out. Only 2 runs were home, but again Duncan had that bloop base hit, and the Indians went on to score 5 more in the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carlos Santana started playing a little bit at first base last year, giving Manny Acta some flexibility in the lineup, give him a break from behind the plate, but still keep his bat in the lineup.
Hochevar, when he has the hitter down with 2 strikes, likes to use the changeup. Changeup goes down and away from the left-handed batter. Let's see if he throws it here.
Almost got him on the knee.
Ooh, man, that would have hurt. That's the place a hitter fears the most of getting hit, especially if you're a catcher. And that was heading right for his knee. Quintero, look at him. He wasn't fooled at all. He was looking for it in there. Now that'll set up the changeup away, I'm sure.
And setting up outside. Chu runs, and it's grounded off of Hochevar's foot. He goes down. Hosmer goes to the bag to end the inning. So if it wasn't painful enough today for Luke, boy, that line drive hit him solid. You could hear it, and you could also see it, and how hard it ricocheted over to Hosmer at first base.
Ooh. Anytime a pitcher gets hit with that ball, it's not pretty. But when you get an ankle bone or you get some kind of shin, looked like it got him on the inside of his left foot, his ankle. And the way it ricochets will tell you how squarely he was hit. And that's not good.
So good to see him get to his feet, but he's having a tough time putting pressure on his leg. Brookside. Visit us online at PaneraKansas.com. And by AT&T Mobility. AT&T, the largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. 7-1 Indians to the bottom of the fourth. And Luke Hochevar had to be helped off the field after taking a bullet off of his foot. Carlos Santana nailed him. And it ricocheted over to Eric Hosmer for the out. And now timeout was called before Lowe delivered the pitch as beach ball ends up in right field. Let's get another look, see if we can see exactly where it hit him, Rex.
I thought it got off the inside of his foot, not on the ankle bone. But maybe I'm wrong. That's tough. It's a hard angle, especially on the inside.
Tough to see there as well. Whatever it was,
regardless,
he went down and he wanted to get up. You could tell that he wanted to get up, shake it off, and even if he wasn't able to continue, at least walk off the field. But it was just too painful, and the Royals had to help him off the field. Hosmer drove in a run in the first inning. That's popped up. Santana with Hanahan, and Santana makes a very difficult play. Hosmer is 1 for 2. Well, we hope you'll come out to Kauffman Stadium next Friday for the first Buck Night of the year. Hot dogs, peanuts, and soft drinks are just $1. And then stay after the game for Friday night fireworks presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi. As always, go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Fouled away by Billy Butler. tough hitting luck for Billy in the first inning. He hit the ball hard, but grounded into a double play as the Royals responded in the bottom of the first after giving up 7 runs with 3 straight hits.
When you're facing a sinker baller, that pad right there on Billy Butler's left shin is of the utmost importance, because sinker ballers go down, hitters hit over the top of the ball, they bounce up and foul them off their leg quite often.
So Derek Lowe's sinker was sinking to Billy Butler in the first inning when he got the double play, but it was not sinking a couple of years ago when the Royals went to Atlanta. And this is Billy Butler against Derek Lowe at Turner Field. That ball didn't quite get down, Rex.
That one didn't sink, and Billy Butler sunk it over the wall.
And now he gets it inside the bag and down into the left field corner. Billy has his 4th double of the year.
So second time up, Billy Butler has squared the ball up. First time, unfortunately, hit it at him and hit into a double play in the first inning, which kind of stalled their rally a little bit. But this guy here, he impresses me. Look at his head. His head never moves. His head's perfect position there. When your head moves as a hitter, so does the ball. The stiller you can keep the head, the hands go to the ball, more consistent contact.
And now Alex strokes it to center field, and that'll drop in front of Brantley. Billy comes around third base, and it is 7-2.
Great job of Alex Gordon making contact on the first pitch he saw on a sinker that didn't sink. That's what you got to be looking for. It was outside. He reached out, slapped it out, good hand position. And Billy Butler is able to bring that home from second with no problem. Eddie Rodriguez, the third base coach, says, you got it.
A strike to Unievsky Betancourt. Derek Lowe got him on a fly ball to left in the second inning. Grounded to Hanahan. And Cabrera couldn't get it out of his glove, so that prevents the double play, and the Royals are still breathing in the 4th.
Let's see if Mike Moustakas can take advantage of that mistake. Okay, that's a physical mistake. Kipnis couldn't get it out of his glove. So that would have taken him out of the inning. Sometimes you take advantage of that, you capitalize on it. Maybe he can get one up here.
And there it is, high to right field, into the crosswind, and it is foul. So he got the pitch he wanted. It was up, put a good swing on it, just a tick out in front.
Even with this crosswind like it is today, that ball down the lines, it won't affect it too much if it's hit well. Where it affects the ball the most is in the middle of the field, from the gap to gap towards the center.
Moustakas grounded out sharply to Cabrera at short in the second inning, and he didn't mean to. So Lowe comes hard down and in with the next pitch, and it's 0-2.
Okay, Derek Lowe, his uniform is sopping wet. Now it's not raining out here, but he's a sweater. His hat's dripping too. It's warm out there, Dad. It's nice to see that weather come in.
Just took it on the knee. All that rain yesterday, it rained overnight, it rained this morning, so the sun comes out and heats up all of that moisture on the ground. 70 degrees at first pitch, but it is a humid 70 degrees. It feels warmer than that, much warmer than that. Ball scoots past Santana and allows Betancourt to move up to second base.
Okay, so now instead of Moustakas having to hit a gapper to score him, a lousy single, Gives him one more.
And Moustakas, right center field, and it is down. So the Royals do take advantage of the opportunity. Moustakas doubles home Betancourt, and it is 7-3.
Steady as she goes. Don't get too high and don't get too low. Look at Moustakas. He says, yes, that's going to help. Now, that ball's out over the plate. The catcher, Santana, was going to reach way out for that one, but Moustakas reached out and hit it off the wall. Betancourt can take it easy coming home.
So the failure to turn a double play helps the Royals make this a 4-run game. And now Quintero, who grounded out first time up. Eric Lowe is way outside with ball 1.
So now a couple bloops and a blast gets him right back in it. Quintero's been one of their hot hitters.
Got it in on his hands just enough. And it's Cabrera who did not turn the double play. He brings it down. The Royals add 2, and at the end of 4, it is 7-3.
Go ahead, Moose.
Got all 7 in the first, and now it's 7-3, and the Royals go to the bullpen and bring on Everett Tieford. And this was one of the reasons, one of the situations that allowed Tieford to make the club. Ned Yost wanted somebody he could hand the ball to early in the game and get it into the later innings. So the bullpen comes on here in the 5th. It was a very good day on one hand Wednesday afternoon for the bullpen. Just a really tough finish in the bottom of the 12th inning for Jonathan Broxton. And as we bring in Joel Goldberg, Ned Yost, in reference to his 2-time All-Star closer, Joel said that one game isn't going to change his position with the club.
Surprised. I was a little bit surprised, Ryan, to hear a lot of folks saying he needs to make a change, Ned Yost. Now, remember, Jonathan Broxton struck out the side to get his first save as a Royal. But I always say all issues involving closing, we do have a pretty good resource here in Royals all-time saves leader Jeff Montgomery. So, Monty, I don't know if you ever had an appearance like that where you hit back-to-back guys, certainly not to end a game, but how do you bounce back from this if you're Jonathan Broxton?
Well, the first thing you want to do is have the opportunity to get back out there. It may not be a save situation. It may be an opportunity just to get your feet back under you, establish that effectiveness. We saw a guy that was very, very effective on Sunday in Anaheim, and on Wednesday it just seemed like things escaped him.
And is that something, we did see the error maybe that leads to it mentally, but then again, as Ryan was mentioning, this is a two-time All-Star, a guy that has the experience.
Well, he does have the experience. I would say that, given that same opportunity, he's going to maybe make the adjustments. It seemed like he was not able to really slow the game down, and it seemed like he tried to speed things up. As a result, we saw what happened.
Well, we know, Ryan, that Ned Yost isn't a guy that's going to pull the trigger on somebody that quickly. He's going to certainly leave him in there and give him a shot. That's the reason why he had him in there. We also know he's got some other options in Greg Holland and Aaron Crow, and we'll continue to follow it.
All right, Joel. Thank you. Thank you, Monty. And in addition to wanting to win the game, Ned Yost in particular wanted to be able to win the game today using Jonathan Broxton to just get him back out there again. He's a veteran. He's been through this before. He's done it before. But it sure helps to pick up a save right after you have a blown save.
No question. Managers like to get him right back out there, and what they say is get him back on the horse. After the horse has thrown you off, you got to get back on it, or you can't be nervous about that. And certainly Broxton, he's going to get past that. He already has.
Deep into the left field corner, and Shelley Duncan hits it a mile from home plate, but foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Okay, Tiford, he's going to come inside with a cut fastball. He's not overpowering, although he'll pitch in the low 90s. Nice curveball and changeup. He's a kid that's been from the system. He's polished and he's ready to go, this kid. And to get that first hitter, Travis Hafner, looking, that's good for confidence for him. Now he's got to face his first big right-hander.
Miss with the curve, 2-1.
Try to bring that, they call that backdoor. He's going to try to bring it in from the outside like that, but still, Everett Tiford, he's a kid that's still wanting to prove himself and to his team. So this is a big outing for him. If he can hold those Indians down and let his offense come back like they're trying to do, his stock will rise.
And he can do so many things for the Royals. He can do this. He can start if the Royals are in a pinch. And he can drop down to a sidearm angle as a left-hand pitcher. And if Ned Yost needs a lefty to come in late in the game to get a left-hand batter, he could use Tiford. Okay. Fans wanted that call. It's 3-2.
Pretty good spot out there. Now, in order to effectively get right-handed batters out, he's going to have to mix in that changeup. At 3-2, let's see what he wants to do against a big beast. This guy's got long arms and he's strong. He loves to pull everything.
Had him out in front.
Okay, that's the changeup. That's a good pitch, 3-2. Tells me he's got confidence throwing that pitch in a 3-2 situation. He'll throw it anytime.
Challenge him with a fastball, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Everett Tiford last year made his big league debut against the Cleveland Indians. Ended up pitching in 26 games for the Royals. He made 3 starts. He also had a save. And the battle continues. Luke Hochevar went 4 innings. He finished strong, retiring 10 of the last 12, but he took a line drive off of his foot or his ankle. We didn't get a great angle on it, but it hit him solid. Ricocheted over to Eric Hosmer for an out at first base, and Luke needed some help to walk off the field. And now Duncan has fouled off 4 in a row against Tiford.
Okay, typically the more you foul off as a hitter, the more confidence you gain. But Everett Tiford, he's out there and he says, you know what, I want this game. This is going to be my game here. And I got to get through these tough right-handed batters. I got to execute a pitch right here.
5 foul balls in a row. So now it's a 10-pitch battle between Duncan and Tiford. Tiford opened the inning by striking out Travis Hafner. And another foul ball. Mentioned when we were talking about Tiford that the bullpen on Wednesday had a good day and a bad day. And you figure, well, it's a bad day. The bullpen ended up with a blown save and a loss. But in between Bruce Chen And Jonathan Broxton, the Royals bullpen, turned in 6 straight scoreless innings. Foul ball coming back our way and just overhead. With Rex Hudler flinching in his chair.
I want in the game. But I'll tell you, Shelley Duncan wants in the game too. He's having one heck of an AB here. Whenever you can have a 10-pitch at bat, you're getting closer and closer to squaring one up.
And he takes ball 4. I would think, Rex, the hardest thing for a hitter in a plate appearance like that is to take ball 4, because he swung at 7 straight pitches and fouled them all away, and to be able to have the discipline to not swing is impressive.
It is. I commend him for taking that base. A lot of guys are going to swing over the top of that one. If you're a big hitter, you don't want to walk. You want to hit 100, 300, 400 feet, and he's able to spit on that one.
And Tiefert back with a good curveball to Casey Kochman. He singled and scored in the first inning and lined out in the third.
Tiefert's a little more comfortable facing lefties because he can throw that big yellow hammer, that big hammer right there that he just threw. It's a lot harder for a lefty to hit that ball going away from it.
And he drops down. That's what he can do against the lefties. Hosmer saves the throw from Quintero going into right field.
Well, Quintero, we're going to see that a lot this year when he in his starts. Loves to throw behind the runners at first base. Hosmer, as soft-handed as he is, that's a nice target to throw to. Look at that. He turned that ball into a marshmallow. That ball could have taken a hop. Whoever's not comfortable over there with their glove, it caroms off into left field, and there's their rally. But not with Hosmer. And Quintero knows that. He says, I'm just going to get it over there and let him do his glove thing.
He's kind of like Hosmer is, kind of like a catcher, where the pitcher has confidence that he can throw anything in the dirt and the catcher will stop it.
And believe me, Quintero's not the only one that's confident. The rest of the infielders are all confident throwing to him.
2 balls and 1 strike to Kochman. And on the topic of good defensive first baseman, this guy right here, Casey Kochman, has the major league record. 274. It has since ended. 274 consecutive errorless games at first base. In his long career, he has made 12 errors. That's it. 2-2. And you saw a lot of him at first base with the Angels.
I did. And, you know, I compared him in his glove work, and that was it, with Donnie Mattingly. Donnie Mattingly won several Gold Gloves, and he was a magnet on that ball. And I'm sure that guy had something to do with it. Did Mabes have any gold in his career?
He had some soft hands, I can tell you that.
Right now, Tiefert's trying to get a strikeout here or roll a double play ball.
Hosmer leaps. He's got it. Steps on the bag. And luckily Escobar got a glove on it to keep it out of left field. But still, an impressive play by Hosmer. And to answer your question, Rex, the Royals have never had a Gold Glove first baseman in their history. That could change soon.
And a play like that, he had to catch the ball, come down and step on the base without twisting his ankle, have the awareness off balance to throw a strike over there, and he did. It just caromed off Escobar's glove. That kind of agility and his kind of glove, he's got gold in the future, no question.
So Duncan at second, 2 outs. Jason Kipnis tripled to center field, driving in 2 in the first inning. He is 1 for 2. And not to take anything away from him, he made solid contact, but off the bat, I think everybody in the ballpark figured it was a fly ball to medium deep center field, but the wind grabbed it. It caught Dyson off guard. Dyson couldn't get to it on the warning track, and that was another ball that we thought might have been the final out in that 7-run first inning. Instead, a 2-run triple for Kipnis. That made it 5-0, and the Indians went on to score 2 more in the inning.
Tell you what, I like what Tiefert's doing here. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and work quickly. Okay, that's not his style. He's thinking about his execution here. Now, that was the 26th pitch he's thrown and 17 for strikes. He's been very efficient. Got a good breaking ball we're seeing. He's taking his time. He's executing his pitches, and he's thinking out there. So far, so good. But he's got a few more innings to eat up here for Ned Yost.
Boy, the foul balls in this inning. That's 2 off the bat of Kipnis. And before he walked, Duncan fouled off 7 straight against Tiford. So 28 pitches, 9 foul balls in the inning. Remember all the foul balls on Wednesday when Bruce Chen was on the mound against the A's. And now he drops down. Hosmer gets a nice hop. He'll go to the bag, and the Indians are scoreless in the 5th. Seven in the first run. The good news is the Royals are slowly creeping back into the game.
That's the great news. Are you kidding? Now they're moving themselves into a position, Ryan, where they're just a couple bloops and a blast away from really getting back in this all the way. But the key is going to be Everett Tiford. If Tiford stays in, he can continue to have an inning like he just did, hold those guys down while his team can catch up. That's the name of the game for a middle reliever.
Tiford had a long top of the 5th, but a scoreless top of the 5th. Escobar leading off against Derek Lowe. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now every one of these Royals have the ability to bunt. Sinker ball pitcher, get on base, easy bunt. Ball's going down, you bunt the top half. Escobar loves to bunt. Had 21 sacrifice bunts last year. But to get on base and starting an inning is not a bad idea. Probably won't with 2 strikes now.
Going to be a tough play. Hanahan was deep. And no play as Escobar beats it out. So a swinging bunt, if you will. And Escobar able to use his legs for an infield single.
Beautiful. Whether you bunt it or hit it like that, that's what I'm talking about. Ball's going to stay down on a sinker ball. Hanahan makes this play all the time. He's a good fielding third baseman coming in. So hit a softball like that, kind of evens out those line shots they've been hitting right at guys. Maybe they can find some more holes and see if Dyson bunts one. Because not only if Dyson puts one down, he's got a chance to beat it out for a base hit, so it wouldn't be necessarily a sacrifice bunt.
Cleveland with 7 in the top of the first, but the Royals came right back in the bottom of the first inning, and Jarrod Dyson, who was just called up yesterday when Lorenzo Cain went on the disabled list, he got a base hit. He hits it hard to Kipnis, and he has to hit it hard for the Indians to turn a double play with his speed, but the Royals have done that a few times today. Hit it right on the nose, but right at an Indians defender. That's their second double play today. Well, have a moment. Let's take a look at our Time Warner speed pitch comparison. Derek Lowe 91. Luke Hochevar got up to 95. Get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Francoeur singled in the first inning, flied out to right in the third, batting second today. Ed Yost making a few changes with Cain going on the disabled list, Dyson being called up, and the changes made so that Dyson can lead off. Francoeur got it down around the end of the bat. Brantley comes up in center field to make the play. So the Indians turn another double play, and the Royals send just 3 to the plate in the 5th inning. Our Sprint You Call It question for today, with Alex Gordon officially receiving his Gold Glove. Who will be the next Royal to win a Gold Glove? 42% going with Eric Hosmer. That would be the first Royals first baseman to win a Gold Glove, followed by 40% going to Alcides Escobar. Jack Hanahan, shallow left, and speaking of Alex, calls off Escobar to make the play. So Hanahan is 1 for 3. Every Wednesday is Inc. Student Night and Local Music Showcase. Show your valid student ID at the box office to get a $7 ticket. Make sure to get here early for live local music and drink specials in the outfield experience before the game. Go to Royals.com/student night for more information. Tiford needed that. A 29-pitch 5th inning. He gets 1 out on 1 pitch to Hanahan. And now Michael Brantley, who had 2 hits in the 7-run first inning. He scored a run and he drove in a run. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So Tiford, in those 29 pitches in that first inning, he went through some pretty good at-bats there. Had to gain confidence.
The longest was a 13-pitch battle with Indians left fielder Shelley Duncan. Duncan eventually walked. It included 7 straight foul balls. And Tiford gets his second strikeout.
Everett Teaford snuck that fastball down by Brantley in a perfect location. See how that was down and off the plate. He couldn't get a big barrel of bat on it. Good spot.
As Drupal Cabrera doubled in the first inning and scored. He also made the final out in the inning, and now he's reaching and hits it into right center field. So 29 pitches in the fifth, 6 in the sixth for Teaford. Hosmer, Butler, and Gordon coming up. Run top of the first inning for Cleveland. The Royals got 3 straight hits in the bottom of the first to get a run back. In the fourth inning, Billy Butler doubled. Alex Gordon got him to the plate. Mike Moustakas hit an RBI double in that 2-run fourth inning. Those are our Mazda highlights. So the Royals down by 7 before even coming to the plate. Now they're down by 4 in the fifth, and Hosmer had a good swing but pops it up into shallow center field. Brantley brings it down, and Eric Hosmer is 1 for 3. This is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Jacob Carpenter from Lawrence, Kansas. And if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Jacob wins $500. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Jacob will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And the Royals will have tied the game, coming back from 7-0.
The key is the offense, no question, to be able to peck away at Derek Lowe, 15-year veteran. But the biggest key is for Teaford to keep doing what he's doing.
Chop to Hanahan. And over to Kochman for the second out. Billy is 1 for 3.
Don't let the Tribe get any more runs.
Derek Lowe had retired 9 straight from the end of the first inning to the beginning of the fourth. So it looked like he was hitting his groove with the big lead, and then the Royals scored the 2 runs in the fourth. Now he's retired the last 4. Strike 1 to Alex. 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the fourth inning. No balls and 2 strikes.
Okay, they play Gordon to pull, obviously, with this Cabrera, Kipnis over there. These guys are all there on that right side of the infield, and the whole left side is wide open. Hanahan, who plays third base, is the shortstop right now. He's spailing his spot. So that tells me that they're going to try to pitch him inside. They try to pitch him to the defense. They're not going to throw him away if their defense is pulling him over. So Gordy can look for one inside and try to get one up.
2-2. So a lot of times a hitter, before he digs in, if he just looks at how the defense is fanned out, I think you have a pretty good idea what the pitcher's going to try and do to you.
Exactly. Doesn't have to. It eliminates a little bit of the thinking about where he might locate, but still, with 2 strikes, you got to protect away too.
And he goes the other way, so he beats the defense. So Alex Gordon, who was hitless in the first 5 games, now he has 4 hits in the last 2 games.
It rains, it pours. Everything comes in bunches. Steady as she goes. Look at that pitch tracks. It'll show you there getting some early strikes in, but that one away was in the middle of the plate on the outer half, but he stayed inside with his hands and was able to guide it that way because he saw the chances of him to get a base hit were numerous on that left side.
You know, I can't recall, Rex, a time when a team shifted that way against Alex, because he hits the ball to all fields. I don't know if that was just maybe more specific to the matchup with Derek Lowe than it was Alex Gordon's history and his trends as a hitter.
Well, how they realign their defense is through hitting charts, and they call them spray charts. And so the infield coordinator, he'll get together with the pitching staff and the catcher, and they'll go over those charts and they'll say, okay, here's what we're going to do.
Deep third, Hanahan with a long throw, and Kochman dug it out, but he came off the bag, and Betancourt is safe.
Okay, Betancourt with a clap. Hanahan with a good strong throw across the diamond. Look, and that pulled Kochman off. Of course, you mentioned how soft his glove is, but you got to give him a hit on that. He earned it.
And he did get a base hit. Betancourt's first of the day.
Okay, look at him chucking it down that line, and Kochman pulled his foot off the base. But the Royals were able to take advantage of a defensive miscue last inning. Maybe they can do it again here as we see Kochman's foot off the base. I think that's a nice call by Jerry Meals.
Coincidentally, it was Betancourt who hit a ground ball to third. The Indians didn't turn a double play, so the inning continued, and Mike Moustakas doubled in a run, and now the Indians don't throw out Betancourt. Moustakas gets another chance, hits it hard to right, and Chu, fighting the sun, finds the ball and ends the inning. 6 innings in the books. It's still 7-3 Indians. Kansas City is brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers and by AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/free-your-TV. Rethink possible, which is the theme for today's game. When the Indians got 7 in the top of the first inning, the Royals had to rethink possible to believe that they could stay in this game and still win it. It's now 7-3. The Indians haven't scored since the first inning. Luke Hochevar retired 10 of the last 12, and now Everett Tieford has a couple of scoreless innings. Royals have 1 run in the first and 2 in the fourth. Royals haven't retired Shin-Soo Choo yet. Tieford comes down sidearm, and it's sliced into the left field corner and foul. All right, our AT&T trivia question for today. You ready, Rex?
Bring it.
We're the only 2 American League players to have 20 outfield assists, 20+ home runs, and hit 300 in a season since 1969. Well, you're looking at one of them right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. American League outfielder, 20 outfield assists, and one of the big reasons why Alex ended up with a Gold Glove. 20 outfield assists, 20 home runs, and a 300 batting average. Choo strikes out. That's 3 for Tieford, and 1 away in the 7th. First of all, was it you? Let's get that out of the way.
No,
okay.
no. Well, I got to ask the question: is he in the house today? I mean, he's got to be a Hall of Famer.
A Royals Hall of Famer or a baseball Hall of Famer?
I'm going to say Bo Jackson.
Okay, I've been given a very important clue which will change your thought process. It is a baseball Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Although Bo was capable of all those things. 2 balls and no strikes from Tieford to Carlos Santana, who bats right-handed. Last time up, he hit a line shot off of Luke Hochevar's, well, we'll just say lower leg for now. We didn't get a definitive angle on it. We couldn't see if it hit him on the inside of the foot or got him on the inside of the ankle. But it knocked him to the ground, and he had to be helped from the field. Santana just gets it past Moustakas. And up the barrier wall, Santana's going to have to hold as Gordon gets to it and throws a rocket to second base.
Okay, nice throw by Gordon. And you know, I'm sure that before the game, they went over the scouting reports of who can throw out there and who can't, and basically all of them can. I'm not so sure about Dyson, but I know that Gordon, and they know that he's got a hose, and so does Frank Coor. So they pulled him back on that one. Nice throw.
So that keeps the double play in order with a double play candidate coming up. Travis Hafner is grounded out, flied out, and struck out. Hafner was the first hitter to face Tieford when he came in the 5th, and Tieford struck him out.
Okay, Hafner, having facing Tieford already once, knows that 2-0. He's not going to just throw a fastball down the middle. It might be an off-speed pitch or something that's a teasing pitch, not something really good. Although Quintero put fastball down and be on the outside part.
And a fastball is pulled foul. It's 2-1.
But it wasn't.
The only thing he could do with that was pull it foul.
Right. Pitchers aren't perfect. Quintero wanted that pitch away. He's sitting on the outer half. The ball was on the inner half. Hitters look for a ½ inch to an inch mistake is all they need.
Kept it down. Betancourt. Escobar 1. Over to Hosmer for 2. That's 3 scoreless innings for Everett Tieford. stretch time at Kauffman Stadium in a 4-run game. Crowd at Kauffman Stadium for the Royals home opener, and the fans just saying God bless America. On Saturday, Fox Saturday Baseball will return as Starlin Castro and the Cubs. They'll head to St. Louis to take on Matt Holliday and the Cardinals. Fox Saturday Baseball returns tomorrow at 11 a.m. following MLB Player Poll, which airs at a special time. A beautiful sight at Kauffman Stadium today. Everything but the scoreboard, but the Royals still have 9 outs to go. And our copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the rest of our Fox Sports Kansas City crew. Good to see all the familiar faces back here at the ballpark after being away for so long. Over a month of spring training and then a couple of exhibition games against the Padres. There's Ron Swan and Doc Carruthers up here in the booth. Good to see those guys. And then the regular season beginning in Anaheim and in Oakland. Mike Meyer, Morgan Kramer. There's Morgan out there in left field. Donnie Miller. There's Big Don. Game face ready to go. First day and everything. Crack us a smile, Don. There's Phil just outside the Royals dugout on the first base side. Our technical director Richard Harlan back in the truck. Great to be in full swing again at home.
And those are our teammates.
All right, 9 outs to go on offense. Royals down by 4. Roberto Quintero, 2 balls, 1 strike against Derek Lowe, who has been very pitch efficient. He has not thrown 80 pitches yet. Quintero 0 for 2. He'll be followed by Alcides Escobar and Gerard Dyson. It's a second beach ball that has fallen on the field today, which I think sets a single game record at Kauffman Stadium. Quintero gives it a ride to center field, but not quite enough as Brantley hauls it in. One down in the 7th. All right, let's answer our AT&T trivia question. Alex Gordon last year had 20 home runs, 20 outfield assists. He hit 300. It was just the second American League player since 1969 to do all of that. The first was, how about Dave Winfield?
Wow. And that's who presented
Jim Rice.
Oh. Winfield was a great guess. I thought you got it. Well, Winfield presented him with his Gold Glove.
One ball, one strike to Alcides Escobar, who is 1 for 2 with an infield single. Derek Lowe trying to give the Indians 7 innings again. He went 7 innings on Sunday in a win against the Blue Jays.
You can rely on it. He's a 15-year veteran with a sinker ball that acts like he's a rookie. So his pitching coach, Scott Radinsky, said.
He's had quite a career, Rex. He has had 15 or more wins 5 times in his career. He had 21 wins in 2002. He threw a no-hitter that year against the Tampa Bay Rays. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And I mentioned earlier that he's just the 8th pitcher in history to have both 150 wins and 50 saves. He's the 3rd pitcher in history to pitch a no-hitter and have a 40 save season. So he's in very elite company. 38-year-old Derek Lowe.
Showed a picture of first-year, there he is, first-year pitching coach for the Tribe, Scott Radinsky, who was the bullpen coach in previous years for them. He said that Derek Lowe is giddy when he comes to the ballpark.
There's a sinking line drive that drops in front of Brantley for a 1-out hit.
He's like a wind-up toy, is what Radinsky said of Derek Lowe. You'll wind him up and let him go. He's a veteran. He's got that mileage and all that success, so he doesn't fear very much. He goes out there and pitches. Now, that's a nice piece of hitting by Escobar with 2 strikes to get on base.
Ball 1 to Gerard Dyson, who singled and scored in the 1st inning, rounded into a double play in the 5th. And for that to happen with Dyson's blazing speed, he's going to have to hit a very hard ground ball right at an infielder, and that's what he did. Hit a sharp 1-hopper to Kipnis at second base. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dyson sees that hole over there because Kochman's holding on Escobar. He's going to try to hit it. Maybe down in that corner.
Cabrera out at second, and this time no double play. If an infielder has to go 1 or 2 steps to his right or left, you can forget about the double play, but the Indians do get the lead runner, Escobar, and there are 2 outs.
Yep, so if you're an infielder and a hitter's like that at the plate, you tell yourself 1 out for sure. But with Asdrubal Escobar, I mean, he gave it up quickly. Kipnis. The speed on the left side. No chance.
Ball 1 to Jeff Francoeur, who is 1 for 3.
Four runs down, typically a manager's not going to let your base stealer steal a base, because his run doesn't mean anything. Now with 2 outs, he might, but if he gets thrown out, Francoeur leads off the next inning, and what for?
Tyson started and stopped. 2 balls and no strikes.
Francoeur in that 2nd spot for the first time this year for Ned Yost because he loves the fastball. Get a lot of heaters in that 2nd spot.
Two and one.
There it was, 2-0, but it was on the outer half. I think Francoeur was looking middle in.
Francoeur has by far the most experience against Derek Lowe. 31 at-bats after 3 today. Dyson does run, and Francoeur drops it out into shallow right, and it's going to fall in front of Chu.
big hitter like Frank Coeur takes a swing, typically outfielders are going to take a step or two back, and that's exactly what Chu did. When Frank Coeur hit this ball, Chu took 2 steps back, and that allowed that ball to fall in front of him. As you see, Fox tracks, they were staying away from him all the way. Dyson run on the pitch. He saw Chu wasn't going to get it, and he kept going to third. So a little 2-out rally, and Manny Acta, he's going to come out to the mound here, and Derek Lowe's done.
So the Royals down by 4. They have 2 on with Eric Hosmer coming up. This year, the Frenchie Quarter. Come out on select Thursday home games to support Jeff Francoeur in his fan section. $21 gets you a seat in the right field cheering section, a limited edition Frenchie Quarter t-shirt, and Mardi Gras beads. Learn more at royals.com/Frenchie. So here's Tony Sipp on to face Eric Hosmer.
He's a left-hander that throws right over the top. He's got some late life to his fastball, 88 to 93. He'll go with a slider and a combination changeup split finger if he has to a righty. But mainly, Hosmer in this situation with 2 outs, he's going to be seeing some breaking stuff away from him, I'm sure. But Hosmer's going to be looking for a half-inch mistake, and the Royals fans here would like to see that as well.
So Hosmer .234 in his career against lefties. He is 0 for 3 against Tony Sipp. And it appears that this is the only batter that Tony Sipp is going to see with Billy Butler on deck. Blocked by Santana. Francoeur moves up to second base. So a gutsy play, but it puts another runner in scoring position.
And had Santana continued with his throw, he might have gotten Francoeur. So a little bit of fortune right there. So with 2 outs, if he finishes that throw, he would have had it. Now look at Francoeur's not exactly stealing, but he's on the balls of his feet, ready to move.
So a base hit could make it a 2-run game. Grounded to first, and Kochman, the sure-handed first baseman, with a tough toss to Sipp, but he comes down on the bag. And the Royals strand 2 in the 7th inning. On to the 8th. It is still 7-3.
at Alex Gordon, now back-to-back multi-hit games. Review all the festivities from here on opening day. And a further update on Luke Hochevar. Rough first inning and then knocked out after the fourth. And the medical update from the Royals guys on that is an ankle contusion, bruised left ankle. X-rays were negative, so that is the good news as far as that goes. And Everett Teaford continues to be a good news story on the mound too, guys.
He sure has. Thanks, Joel. 3 scoreless innings to at least keep the Royals close. The Indians with 7 in the first inning and none since. And you know, Rex, that's not the first time that's ever happened. You know, a team gets a lot of runs. Not that they're still not trying when they go to the plate, they are. But you can't help but lose a little bit of intensity when you get a huge lead that quickly.
That's right. But Hochevar settled down. And he executed some pitches. Heads up down there. And Everett Teaford has so far done his job. That's all you can do is hold the opponent down. Hope the offense comes back, and there's been plenty of opportunities for him to get a big hit. They haven't been able to do it so far. To come all the way back.
Teaford and Duncan, they had quite a battle in the 5th inning. Duncan walked, but that was after 13 pitches and 7 straight foul balls. Three balls, 2 strikes.
Tell you, a nice job by Paul Immel, home plate umpire tonight. This afternoon, he's done a fantastic job. No borderline calls, no hitters looking back, pitchers saying what happened, and you like that.
Popped up. And Betancourt hardly has to move, and now the wind pushes it onto the grass, but he's there to make the catch. Everett Teaford has done a great job coming out of the Royals bullpen today. First Luke Hochevar, and here's what Joel was talking about. Carlos Santana with the line drive off of his left ankle, and it ricocheted over to Hosmer for an out. Hochevar had to be helped off the field, and now Teaford with 3 1/3 scoreless.
Boy, I'll tell you, that makes Dave Island, the pitching coach, and Ned Yost, the manager, very excited about what this kid can do if he comes in for some long rolls. And that's his job. He's been hitting his spots. There's Dave Island to your left, Ned Yost to your right. They've got to be thrilled.
Teaford has only allowed 2 base runners, a 1-out walk. That was after the long battle with Duncan, and then a 1-out single in the 7th. But Santana was erased when Teaford got Hafner to ground into a double play. And now Kochman is down, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Teaford's been doing it with some excellent location. He's been spotting his fastball down and away from the hitters and mixing in that big curve to lefties.
Two and two.
You know, getting back to Hochevar, I'm not a man of big words. Royals fans will come to find that out, but when you said he had a contusion, what that is a fancy word for a bruise.
So why don't they just say bruise then?
Because it's coming from the medical department.
A guy that went to school for 12 years, you got to come up with a bigger word than bruise, right?
Yeah, we want to educate our audience.
The other way. Nice stop by Moustakas. He's got a chance and a great throw over to Hosmer.
I tell you, Moustakas is showing his skills early. You couldn't have had a better hitter hit it to him like that. Kochman not fleet of foot, but look at his glove work. Picks it on the short hop, gets to his feet, didn't even stride to throw it. That'll show you his strong throwing arm, and there was a lot on it. And Teaford, like every pitcher, just loves that play.
And now it's 0-2 on Kipnis. Well, he's got a heck of an arm. I mean, as you pointed out, hardly any stride at all from Moustakas, but I mean, he threw that ball as hard as some guys when they get a running start.
Exactly. That was all arm.
1-2 on Kipnis, who had a 2-run triple in the first inning and came around to score.
Maybe Kipnis will foul a ball off and we could show the fans that again at play. Because that play was worthy to see that again and again and again. And I'm sure this evening they'll be replaying that play all over the country and the world.
Drops down sidearm, and Betancourt has it go right through him. So a great play at third, followed by an error at second.
Won't see that all that often from Betancourt at second base. Doesn't have to have the long throw. He's a premier shortstop. This is his first year he's accepting the utility role. This is a routine ball that just came up and bit him. See, he's laying back on it, and he just missed it.
You're wondering what's on the field. That's some confetti from the pregame celebration, and the wind just blew it on the field. I don't know if that's been a distraction at all for the fielders as they're trying to pick up the ball, but it's not just the white ball against the green grass. It's the white ball weaving in between pieces of yellow, pink, and purple. Kipnis runs, and he got a great jump. Quintero doesn't bother throw down to second base.
And that's smart. He could see the jump he got. There's no need in wasting a throw and possibly throwing it away. Kipnis is at full speed in 2 steps. He runs well.
First of the year for Kipnis, and the Indians' second stolen base today. Fox Sports Kansas City's Royals replica jersey night returns on April 21st, and the first 20,000 fans attending the Royals Blue Jays game receive a Royals 80s retro batting practice jersey. Those tickets always sell quickly, so buy yours now, and we'll see you then. Kelvin Herrera begins to warm up behind Robert Tieford, and he throws a strike to Jack Hanahan, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Three and one.
I was talking to Tieford a couple days ago, and I said, who's helped you the most in the system? He said, Larry Carter, Steve Luber, Doug Henry. He was quick to give some praise to some guys in the minor league system that have worked hard to get these guys to become the player that they are up here. So the Royals have a fantastic coaching staff down below that are helping these guys pitch like they can.
And there's a walk to Hanahan. I would think that Carter would stand out as far as his career, because Everett Tieford was seen as a fringe prospect in the Royals system, and then he had a down 2009 season, but in 2010 at Double-A's, when Tieford got himself back above the fringe into a legitimate prospect, and Larry Carter is the pitching coach at Double-A, and he was there the year that Tieford had that season. Right center field, and Francoeur and Dyson almost collide. Francoeur makes the catch to end the inning.
Mike Moustakas, go ahead and hose him out.
Going up and giving Mike Moustakas a little fist bump for the play that he made in the top of the 8th inning. The Royals still down by 4. Aaron Cunningham is the new left fielder, replacing Shelley Duncan, and Joe Smith is the new pitcher.
Okay, he's a sidewinder. He'll be tough on righties. 88 to 93 with some sink to his fastball and a slider.
Strike one to Billy Butler.
Okay, so you could see Billy Butler backing out on that, because when that guy lets go of that ball, he's a foot behind the right-handed batter. First tendency is to pull out. What I mean is that front foot kind of steps out a little bit, unless you're a Billy Butler who's a polished hitter.
Two balls, one strike. Billy hit his 4th double of the year in the 4th inning and scored. He's 1 for 3 today. 2-2.
Okay, the Royals hit 7 home runs on that road trip to start the season. In order to get back in this game at this particular time, they're going to need 1 or 2 of those.
Royals have 9 hits today, and so far only 1 extra, make that 2 extra base hits. Butler has a double, Moustakas has a double. And Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, will rule that Billy went too far, and he strikes out.
I'm sure Smith, over his young career, has gotten a lot of check swing from right-handers, because he's difficult to pick up.
Now, as tough as he can be on a right-hand batter, a left-hand batter is going to get a good long look at him. Now, Alex has never faced Joe Smith, probably because the Indians never wanted Joe Smith to pitch to Alex Gordon. So he'll try and get through Alex with Yuniesky Betancourt on deck. Alex has 2 more hits today, and he's driven in another run. Don't know if that was a swing or a call, but it's 1-1.
He said he swung. Ball wasn't anywhere near the plate. So when umpire puts his fist up, he didn't need any help.
2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1 with Betancourt on deck. Last year was a bounce back year for Joe Smith. Sent to AAA by the Indians 2 years ago. He came back last year, pitched in 71 games, and his ERA was 2.01. Joe Smith has as many as 82 appearances in 1 year. That was 2008 with the New York Mets.
Well, you can see why. He's got good movement. He's got a nice slider. He sinks it. He runs it. He works a lot off his fastball.
So Alex walks with 1 out.
Okay.
Alex is on for the 3rd time today.
That's a great day for Alex. 2 for 3 with a walk. That'll work. Now they need a couple more base runners and a big hit. The proper approach as a hitter facing a sidewinder from the right side is to keep your hands inside, shoot the ball to the other opposite field. Betancourt, he has occasional pop, but I'm sure he wants to set the table up right here. He's not looking for that big swing.
Ground ball, base hit left field. So it's a 2-hit day for Betancourt.
Okay, and the crowd here, this beautiful opening day crowd, are not booing that hit. They're saying that for Moose. They know he's coming up, looking for a big hit from Moose.
And he's had a nice day. He just made a great play on defense in the top of the 8th inning. Here comes Scott Radinsky, the Indians pitching coach, to chat with Joe Smith. And Moose 1 for 3 today, back in the 4th inning, had an RBI double.
He did, and that was on a pitch that was 2 inches outside. He covered it and pulled it. That was a nice hit on a ball that far outside.
And that's not his only good swing. He grounded out in the 2nd, and that was a shot to the shortstop Cabrera. And then he lined to right, a bullet to the right fielder Chu in the 6th. Well, if you're hitting the road this year, take the Royals with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Royals out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Royals.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere, and we have fans everywhere. Hoping the Royals can come back from a 7-0 deficit. Indians scored 7 runs in the 1st inning. They haven't scored since. Royals got 1 in the bottom of the 1st, 2 in the 4th. They have left 2 runners on base in each of the last 2 innings, and now they have 2 on, 1 out in the 8th. Look out.
Okay.
Oh, that's the approach, though, right? Wanting to go the other way.
I'm just going to say, I like that approach. That's really nice. He was waiting. He saw the ball all the way as far as he could back to the catcher's glove. And a little bit earlier, he would have had a double down that left field line. Now with 2 strikes, I would imagine that Smith's going to come inside here, way inside. Ooh, he left one out over.
With 1 out, Gordon walked. Betancourt followed with a single. Up the middle, Kipnis bobbles, recovers, and turns it into the Indians' 3rd double play today. At the end of 8, it's still 7-3. They're down by 4. They've had their chances today. They have 12 hits. They have more hits than the Indians do. The Indians haven't scored since the 1st inning. The Royals have come up with 3 runs, and now all of a sudden they have stranded 8, including 6 in the last 3 innings. So they've continued to apply the pressure on the Indians. Just haven't gotten that big hit in the last 3 innings. And now Kelvin Herrera comes on after 4 outstanding innings from Everett Teaford.
Well, if the Royals aren't able to come back in this one, you immediately start drawing to the positives, and Everett Teaford is a big, big plus for them. Now, this kid here, Kelvin Herrera, he's got some nice stuff, so this is a good time for him to come in. Perfect time, no pressure. He's got an excellent fastball changeup combination, and that's what Asdrubal Cabrera is going to see.
Cabrera batted twice in that 7-run first inning. He had a double and a run scored. Overall, he is 1 for 4 today. And Herrera's in with strike 1. The 7 runs in the first came against Luke Hochevar, and then Luke finished by retiring 10 of the final 12 hitters that he faced. Hit well to center. Dyson is back. He is all the way back, and he got his glove on it, but it's over the wall for a home run. It looked like he got some glove on it, and it may have hit the top of the padding before landing on the other side. And for Asdrubal Cabrera, that's his 2nd home run of the year and the Indians' first run since the first inning.
Dyson made an excellent effort to go get that ball with his good speed. That pitch is down. It's down around the knees, but it's out over the plate. Nice effort. But you got to credit Cabrera for that stroke and that home.
Shin-Soo Choo is 2 out of 3. Did he get his glove on it? Not quite.
99 miles an hour that last pitch was thrown.
How about 101? You think that gun's a little hot?
It's a little hot, and I'm not so sure that that pitch that Cabrera hit out was that velocity, because I don't think he would have hit that.
And back with a nasty changeup.
Okay, free and easy. Look at that arm action. It's down low, but it's out over the plate. Big league hitters will get that. Okay, that was at 90.
So is that a changeup that was too hard?
Possibly. I'm going to say yes.
Comes back and strikes out Choo, and that's a, what do you want, about 8 to 10 miles per hour between the fastball and the changeup. And if he's normally 94 to 98, maybe that's not enough
Watch
of a difference.
this pitch. You know, there's a high fastball. That's a beauty. When you throw that hard, you're going to blow that by some of the best hitters there are. And Choo is certainly one of those.
That's the second time he hit 101, at least on this gun, against Shin-Soo Choo. Now Carlos Santana.
That ball was by him.
And so fast, perhaps, it didn't show up in any of the radar guns. He has the added advantage, and that's 101 again. It's that time of day where Herrera's pitching in a little sliver of sunlight. The hitter is in the shadows, and the backdrop is in the sunlight. Not that Herrera needs any more help running it up there at 101, but he's got it.
Wow. Now, I'm no pitching coach, but with his changeup and fastball combination, that's closer material. And he's an awfully young guy, and they're just kind of letting him in there and putting him in a situation that the game wasn't on the line, but this kid has got a nice talent. Changeup got away from him there. Now, 88 to 101, that's a nice variation of changing speeds.
Especially when out of the pitcher's hand, it looks like it's the same pitch.
Exactly. That's the whole thing that fools the hitter, Ryan. No question. And Dave Island, he's probably thinking, he's looking for the miles per hour he's seen. Is it the gun or is it this kid's arm?
Quintero got nailed by that last pitch. So Mike Moustakas out there to talk to Herrera. They're just making up something to chat about. And home plate umpire Paul Emmel is going to give Quintero all the time that he needs. The changeup in the dirt came up and got Quintero, and I can imagine where.
Yes, and so can our educated audience. Could be that maybe checking his wrist. Let's see it on a bouncer like that. On a changeup, fortunately for Quintero, might have caught some of his palm on his right thumb. And that's the way he's carrying it. That's what it was. So assistant athletic trainer Kyle Turner is out there helping him out.
How to play. Well, you never want to get hit on the wrist, but considering the alternative.
Yes, if that 100 is foul tipped off of any part of his body, that's trouble. But look at Quintero. He's a happy guy. Now he knows his team's down, but he's enjoying competing. And this guy he's competing against, Santana, he's a very good young hitter. In his second year, he had a full season last year. He wouldn't be good if he wasn't batting fourth in cleanup for a big league team.
3 days ago, the Indians gave Santana a 5-year contract extension. Changeup struck him out. 88 miles an hour. So after the home run, back-to-back strikeouts for Herrera against Chu and Santana.
Okay, you see that grip? He's gripping it in his back 3 fingers. That's what allows him to take off something off the pitch with the same speed as his 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Put that ball back in your fingers and throw it. Now, that takes some time to learn how to throw that for strikes, but these guys are the best in the world. They know how to do that, and that's what fools the hitter.
Herrera was called up last year for the Royals, but he never faced the Indians, so everybody's getting a first look at him. Travis Hafner today is 0 for 4 last time up. Everett Tiefer got him to ground into a double play. In the air, right center field.
Stay with that one.
And Francoeur does. The Indians add a run on the Cabrera home run. It is now 8-5 Indians. Herrera in our Mazda replay and getting a strikeout of Shin-Soo Choo on a fastball at 101 miles per hour, and then got Santana on a changeup after on a fly out to right. So a nice bounce back for him after giving up the home run to Asdrubal Cabrera. It is 8-3 Indians with the Royals coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Royals will have Quintero, and we just saw him sitting on the bench, so pinch hitter, Escobar and Dyson against Vinny Pistano. It'll be Mitch Meyer to face Pistano first. Pistano had an excellent year last year, and now he's pitched in 3 games this season, 4 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings. So Meyer for Quintero.
This guy, Vinny Pistano, he'll throw from a 3/4 arm slot, fastball slider.
Ball 1 to Mitch Meyer.
First-year pitching coach Scott Radinsky for the Cleveland Indians says that this guy has big courage. He has no fear, and he loves to come in big situations. Said he's full of adrenaline.
2-1 to Meyer.
Think he's Italian?
You want me to say it?
Go ahead.
Vinny Pistano. That's how you really say his name. That's how they say it in the homeland. He has a great story. He is originally from Southern California, but he spent some time here in Kansas City, and when he was here, the Royals became his favorite team. And a good start as he strikes out Mitch Meyer, 1 down in the 9th inning. His mom is from Kansas City, and his parents divorced when he was 4 years old. So his mother moved back to Kansas City, and he became a Royals fan. There's a happy ending to the story. His parents ended up getting back together, and they remarried. And when Vinny was 8, they moved back to California. But that short time here in Kansas City made him a Royals fan. And he ended up with his first major league save a couple of years ago against the Royals. He has an uncle named Dave Webster, who is a tour guide here at Kauffman Stadium. And his grandfather, those of you who are fans of UMKC, his grandfather Ken Webster was once the athletic director. Escobar has 2 hits, 2 for 3. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mentioned earlier in the game that the Indians got off to a great start last year. They were 30-15 on May the 23rd. That was the best record in baseball. They had a 7-game lead in the Central. And a big part of that early success was a young bullpen, a bullpen known as the Bullpen Mafia. They were the 2nd youngest pitching staff in the American League, second only to the Royals. And Manny Acta had his team hanging in there until the month of September, when the Tigers really started to pull away and they won the division by 15 games. Still 2-2.
Escobar doing a nice job of fouling off those borderline pitches so he can try to find him one. He can guide it up the middle, bore a hole somewhere out there, see if the Royals can get a little magic here with their last 2 outs.
Indians got 7 in the first, but the Royals came back with 1 in the bottom of the first, 2 in the fourth. They've had several chances since then to narrow the margin, and then Cleveland just added a run in the top of the 9th. And Escobar committed and strikes out, and that's 2 in the inning for Pistano.
He's nasty. He's 3/4, and he's got some pretty good stuff. Good hard fastball. He's got a nice slider.
Gerard Dyson playing in his first game. Singled and scored in the first inning. He's 1 for 4. Dyson called up when Lorenzo Cain was placed on the disabled list yesterday with a left groin strain, and it took Cain going down for Dyson to be called up, but Gerard earned it. He was hitting .364 at AAA Omaha, and in 7 games he had 6 stolen bases and 7 runs scored. On the ground to Kochman. He goes to the bag, and that's the game. So Cleveland was 7 in the first inning. That's really all that they needed, and they take game 1 from the Royals 8-3. So a tough start to the homestand in front of a sellout crowd. Manny Acta's team improves to 2-4. The Royals drop to 3-4. So Vinny Pastano closes it out. And the winning pitcher for the Indians was Derek Lowe. He's 2-0. We'll be right back.